You are listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast.
This is for you. We're scaring those things away.
What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy, Studio McGyver, and you are listening to Studio McGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. Welcome to the show, guys. I hope everybody had a fantastic new year. Thank God 2020 is over. It is behind us, man, and I just want to move forward. If you're new to the show, welcome to the podcast, guys. We do this every Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. We talk about nerd culture, we talk about anime, and we talk about video games. No particular order. I talk heavily on video games, and anime is in there, sprinkled in there as well. And then, movies and things of that nature. So if you're into those things, guys, then I think you've come to the right place. We do this every Monday. So thanks for listening. All the new listeners, thank you guys for coming. And I hope to see you again next week and, the week after and so on and so forth. Anyway, let me also let you guys know you can get everything Studio McGuyver if you go to StudioMguyvR.com. Yes, you can stream the podcast there. You can actually download the podcast there if you like. If you want to support the show, to all of my listeners who've been listening for years, you can also go there and do that. Easy ways, lots of things. There's a merch store there for you guys too, hoodies and t-shirts. And I think there's even a Studio McGyver mug there too. And I'll be adding more things as time goes by to the store. So yeah, be looking out for that, guys, as well. Plus all my handles are there, my Facebook page, my Instagram, my YouTube channel, everything there, Discord, all these things and more. So definitely check out StudioMguyvR.com. And yeah, let's begin the show. Now, today, I'm going to talk about really 2020 in retrospect, guys. I mean, there's been a lot of things that has happened in 2020. I'm going to focus on, the stuff in the gaming kind of realm here. A lot of things took place, man. There were a lot of flops. There were a lot of high hopes for certain things that happened. And it didn't happen. We didn't get what we thought we were going to. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Also, I have some Cyberpunk news. It seems like there's always some Cyberpunk news around the corner. And we got some new information. I'm going to talk about what their plans are, moving forward with the game. Because I'm currently still playing the game, guys. Currently still playing the game. Enjoying myself still with all the bugs and the glitches. I think I have 115 hours in the game right now. So I've been putting in work, and that's really the only game right now that I'm playing. I am excited to play some other games that I never got a chance to play, which are on my, backlog or whatever. And I want to talk a little bit about that too. Some backlog games that you have or games that I have per se, and haven't had a chance to get to, but I am still looking forward to playing these games. Okay. Want to talk about that as well. All right. Let's start off by going into some anime, okay? Because this past week, guys, I have definitely had an interesting week. I got a lot of anime finished, and I bought a fucking car. Yes, I bought a 2021 Kia Sportage, okay? A nice little car, mini SUV, if you want to, I think that's the category that it's in. I was thinking about trying to get a car, January. Anyway, and it just happened a little earlier than I thought. Those those fucking salesmen, man, they know how to get you in there and get you in a car, man. But that's cool, start off the new year 2020 right, brand new car, all of that. That's a cool thing, I guess. Since I can't get a PS5, I can get a fucking new car, but I can't get a PS5, which is crazy. But at least it shouldn't take too much more time before I can start walking into, these stores and people can start picking this shit up, because Sony's definitely talked about putting out more systems and bombarding the market with it, so that the scalpers start to backtrack a little bit. And they already have. I mean, if you go on fucking eBay and you look at PS5s now, the prices are dropping. I think I mentioned this a week or two ago prior to that. But yeah, Christmas is over with now, and a lot of that thrill is gone. And a lot of people not as many people or parents or whatnot are searching for the PS5s or whatnot. So, everybody's kind of like, well, I'll get it when I can. And now the scalpers are out here kind of sweating. They're sweating, and they're a little worried. They're very concerned right now because they want to pull this butter out, and there's nobody in sight that they can hit upside the head and incapacitate right now. So they're really nervous about that, not being able to use their butter on, consumers. And, for us, it's a good thing, because pretty soon we'll be able to walk into our local Target, Walmart, GameStop, and pick up our own PS5 or our own Xbox Series X's. And that's cool. That's a beautiful fucking thing. Now, last week I, mentioned a little bit about, my feelings towards getting the PS5, and how at first I was anxious a little bit, and then I really, really felt like I had to have it. But then upon further review, doing some thinking, and I realized that it's not that crucial. Not right now. It's not. Now, it's one thing if there were games, galore, even a handful of games out, but that's not even the case right now, guys. There are literally really 3 games, maybe 4, but there's not many games out right now, and it's not that crucial, to have it for, the majority of people out there. Most people want it because, when something new comes out, and you kind of want that new phone comes out, you want to get that. And, it's always cool having new toys, always. But once you have it, I mean, it lasts for about a day or 2, maybe a week tops. And then you're moving on to the next thing, the thrill of getting that new device is, passed you by and you're good. Okay. And for me, it's more so, what can I play? What's out on this device, versus, I just have to have it because it's a new device. So, Final Fantasy 16, literally, let me tell you this, guys. I had just bought a new, a hat a couple weeks ago from GameStop, which is, I think I mentioned this also. Some of the cool things about, a lot of people give GameStop a lot of boo-boo, a lot of shit, and deservingly so, because they do earn a lot of it, especially how their trade-in shit works. You buy something for $500, you take it back, they give you $100 for it, and then they turn around and sell it for $450. That's kind of like how they do. But, that's a business. They're trying to make money, and you got to kind of respect that in a way. But, it is a little abrasive. I will keep that real. But some of the cool things about GameStop that I still enjoy, some of the same things that I enjoy about the movie trading company. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a lot of people don't have that in their area, but it's basically a version of GameStop in a sense. They sell games. They actually rent games, which is cool. They sell posters, plenty of anime posters and gaming posters. For Christmas, my girlfriend actually bought me a Nintendo blanket, a throw blanket, which was dope. Just a blanket to have around the house. You're watching TV, watching, movies, eating popcorn, shit like that. And you want a blanket, cool little thing. And they sell shit like that, man. They sell action figures there. They sell collectibles there. They sell music there. I mean, they sell a lot of different things, DVDs, Blu-rays, like all of these things they sell there, and retro consoles too. So I bought my Sega Saturn there, actually. So like, they're really a dope place to shop. And GameStop, they used to do that for a short period of time, but they still have a lot of cool shit. Their store's a lot smaller than, your typical movie trading company, but they don't just sell games now. That's still their main thing. But what's cool about GameStop, at least my GameStop, is the fact that I can go in there and I can get a dope ass Dragon Ball wallet or some shit like that. And I recently bought a PlayStation hat. The only hat they had in there is black, which is my favorite color. And it's in the PlayStation symbol, which is white. And on the back it says Game Changer. And underneath the brim of the hat, There's the white, the squares, the X's, the triangles, all that shit. So the hat is just a dope ass hat. But anyway, things like that is why I like GameStop and why GameStop is still alive in my book. And they also have some dope t-shirts and things of that nature too. Socks. I've seen all of these things in there. So you can go there and you can, walk away with some cool shit there. And then sometimes you go to their bargain bin, which they do have a decent bargain bin. And then they have these sales sometimes. So you can go in there and you can take, $20 in there and go to their bargain bin and go and look. And they have a lot of games that are cheap, physical copy games that are cheap. That's also a cool thing. If you're into physical, games, then GameStop is still cool. Same thing with movie trading companies. Same thing with places like that. Because, if it's a game that a lot of people know about, or if it's, a game not that popular with a lot of the audience, you can't really find it at your Walmarts or, your Targets. You have to go and dig around, or you have to go shop eBay or Amazon or something like that to get your hands on those. So sometimes you just want to go locally shop and you can come away with some cool shit, man. Anyway, yeah, GameStop. How did I even get on this subject? What the fuck? How did I even get here? But yeah, GameStop is still a dope place. I think I was talking about, I think I started with the PlayStation and the Xbox Series X and the availability of all these things, but I'll go there with that. But yeah, as far as, okay, yeah, guys, please forgive me. My mind is everywhere. But anyway, I was at the car dealership getting this car this weekend, right? And, I got plenty of comments on the PlayStation hat, man. It kind of amazed me a little bit to think that, now how far gaming has come. Gaming has really came a long fucking way. A lot of people fuck around in that universe now, and that's a cool thing. I love to see other people acknowledge that. A couple of guys who saw me there mentioned the hat, and then the guy who actually was our finance guy in the finance department, we were sitting in his office, and he was like, "Yo, man, are you're a big gamer, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we got into a conversation. I gave him the information on the podcast. He looked it up right there, and on his, I think he had an iPhone, yeah, and subscribe right there. So he said he was going to check it out. Hope he likes the show if he's listening. But anyway, we started getting into conversations about games, and he's a big Final Fantasy guy, which is dope. Final Fantasy 16 is the game that basically catapulted him to actually go with the PS5. I think he told me he thought it was coming out for both consoles, and he was leaning towards the Xbox. But then when he heard that, he decided to go PS5, and yeah, that's where he was at. So yeah, we talked a little bit about Final Fantasy, and it was dope. It was just cool to see people and connect with people about something as cool as video games, man. It's always going to be a part of my life, and I think that's just the way I was built. Okay. Anyway, yeah, had an interesting weekend though. Got the car, did all that. As far as the new consoles are concerned, like I said, guys, if you guys haven't had a system or you've been looking and you couldn't find one, just be a little bit more patient for a little bit longer, and trust me, man, it's going to come to fruition. You're going to get your system, guys. Okay. It's going to be okay. These scalpers are dying. Okay. Nice and slow. The prices are dropping, and, they have to get rid of this stuff, pretty soon, and they're going to start losing money pretty fucking soon. So hopefully they don't sell all their stock. And I don't think that they will, especially now that Christmas is over with and nobody is jumping the gun to do this, to spend all this money, because Christmas can put pressure on people. I've seen it, it's Christmas. Yeah. You got to make it, the best Christmas ever. And you got to do this and you got to do that. It can actually, put a lot of unnecessary pressure on people. But if you let it, put it like that. If you let it, then it will. But I'm not going to let it. I never have let it. Yes. Have I overspent a little bit from time to time for the kiddos? Yeah. You know what I mean? But hey, I'm not one of those guys that's going to spend, I'm not even going to spend $1,000 on a PS5. Okay. Not even $800. All right. I'll just wait, get the system, because $500 plus tax is a lot of money. Let's just keep it real with each other. It is for just a straight up, boom, here's my money on the table. Yeah. That's a lot of money. So we're going to just leave it at that. And when one comes available, I'll get it. I will. Trust me, guys, you will be the first to know. I promise you. Anyway, just so much going on though. But the anime tip, as far as, let me jump back on the anime ship. I'm all over the place today. Please forgive me again. But I got Fire Force done. I got Fire Force, finally got it done. And, like I said, I just love Fire Force. I love the show. It's a dope anime. And for those who are listening, if you haven't checked it out, please do yourself a favor and check out Fire Force. Or if you haven't seen season 2 yet, go ahead and get that done. Okay. Yeah, just get that done. It's amazing. And yeah, there's a character Berserk on there, man. Dude is crazy. Yeah, just some of the scenes, some of the fighting scenes, man, are just jaw dropping. I'm not going to get all into it because some people may have not gotten to Fire Force or season 2 or whatever, but I will just say it's an awesome anime, man. Please check it out. Another one I finished up was 12 episodes, and it went by the name of Inspector. Okay, N like IN/Spectre. And it was and it caught my attention, man. It definitely, it was something different. It was a little different. It was more like supernatural kind of thing about this young girl who sacrificed one of her legs and one of her eyes to be able to communicate with, I guess, oddly or otherworldly entities. That's the way I can describe it. And that she could see and she could speak to that nobody else really could. Only certain people could actually see them like she could, but she could actually, do things with them, for them, and help them. And they held her like the queen of pretty much of their kind, if you will. And she came in contact with this guy, this young guy who basically was, gifted with the ability to never die in essence. It's just a perfect example. If you lost an arm, it would grow back, that type of thing. And that's where it began. And I'll leave it at that. But it's definitely something different. And I finished it and I enjoyed myself. So it's definitely something I would definitely recommend that you guys check out. Maybe a lot of you guys have already. It's just so much anime out there to consume. I mean, there's hundreds of different kinds of anime to consume that it's ridiculous. Okay. And there's another dope one, that I came across. I did finish Noblesse. That's how I pronounce it. Some people pronounce it differently, but that's how I say it. The vampire anime. But I got a lot of anime done this past week, and one in particular that I must say I thoroughly enjoyed was one that goes by the name of Domestic Girlfriend. Now, this is like one of those anime that I typically never used to watch. I guess you can call it slice of life or drama, I guess, if you want. It's definitely not a shonen. And I highly encourage anybody or everybody out there who watches anime, who enjoys watching anime, period, in general, to most of us who watch it, we typically go for the shonen stuff. But I'm telling you, man, there's some dope shit out here. There is some excellent anime that is not shonen out here in these anime streets, and you need to check it out. Stop taking away the quality, the potential quality that you can experience by doing this thing. Kind of like the same thing how I tell people, don't put yourself in a box when it comes to the music you listen to. Don't listen to one genre. I mean, you're really depriving yourself of so much by doing that, by locking yourself into something like that. And you take that recipe and you can spread that on anything, and it's going to work out the same way. That you can put that recipe towards anything. Okay. And just try new things. It's always cool to try new things. And especially if you're an anime guy like me, it took me a minute to really do that though, because I never used to go for them. And then it just took some recommendations from some of you guys. And I just said, you know what, let me fucking see what's going on here, man. And High Score Girl was the first one I really kind of just did that with. And then ever since then, I just have been kind of on a rampage. And, but Domestic Girlfriend is definitely a dope one. Like, I think I remember telling you guys there was another one out there that had girlfriend in it as well. It was called Rent a Girlfriend. And that one was fucking excellent. I love that one. But yeah, Domestic Girlfriend is dope. Let me give you the synopsis of this fucking thing. This is what really, I was reading, you read the little synopsis and it tells you a quick breakdown of what the anime is going to be about. And this shit was crazy. This was like on some talk show, you know, Jerry Springer type of shit. Okay. Just out of this fucking world, reality TV type of thing. Basically, you have you have a high school student, right? He's about 17 years old, 16, 17. He's in love with his fucking teacher. Okay. He's in love with her. All right. And she's a cool, beautiful, you know, young teacher. You know, she's fresh out of, you know, school. So she's probably around 22, 23 years old. Right. And he's in love with this teacher, and come to find out, he goes to this party, not too long after, you know, and he meets this girl his age, who is also pretty in her own right. And they end up sleeping together at her request. Okay. She basically said, hey, you know, I want to sleep with you. And yeah, they were both virgins. Keep that in mind as well. Okay. And he just kind of on a whim, just went ahead and did it. He couldn't tell her no. She was pretty as well. So he did it. And he had no real hopes of, you know, being with his teacher, because, yeah, that type of shit doesn't happen. And she didn't even know. The teacher didn't even realize, you know, that he was in love with her or whatever. But the teacher would, you know, low key, I'm not going to say flirting, because I don't want to call it that, but she acknowledged him. She definitely acknowledged him. You know, one might say, I can't really explain why, but then in the end you find out. But anyway, some time goes by. Okay. The guy goes home, the kid comes home, and he finds that his father has some announcements to make, you know, and he's there with another woman. Come to find out, this woman he's been dating, they decide to get married. Okay. And they let him know. But here's the shit that blows up, you know, the whole anime that made me like want to just dive in here. The woman that he's marrying, she has 2 daughters. And I think you can guess what I'm about to say. I think. But her oldest daughter is the fucking teacher that he's in love with. The teacher's sister, her younger daughter, is the girl that he had sex with at that party. Now they all move in together because the parents marry. And you can imagine where this shit goes from here. You can only imagine where the shit goes from here. I mean, yeah. And it was very, very well written, man. It was a dope anime. Like I was glued to my fucking seat. I'm not gonna lie. And I couldn't believe it. You know, and it was kind of it was recommended. That one was recommended from Crunchyroll. I was going through anime, looking at popular anime things that people were watching, and that was one of them. And I said, okay, give it a chance. And that's what you got to do sometimes, man. Even if the artwork, the cover art looks dumb, or you're just not a fan of it, which, you know, a lot of people fall victim to that, me, myself included, where you're riding on the look of how the anime looks per se without giving it a try, you know? And yeah, I enjoyed myself, man. I really, really did. I'm not going to go into any more on how or what happens in here, but it was definitely a dope show. That's really all I can say. And I highly recommend this one. Okay. I really do. And I think episode wise, I'm going to say it was like 12 episodes. Yeah. I want to say 12 episodes. So definitely check it out. 12 or 13. Anyway, one of those. But yeah, definitely check this one out too, guys. And I watched all of these this past week. So if you guys know me, the ones who've been listening for years or months to this show, you know how my schedule kind of works. Okay. Some days I'll do a shit ton of anime. I'll have time to watch a lot. And then some I'll just play games, or some I won't do much of anything. You know, I'll get a little bit of here, a little bit there. So it kind of goes by depending on what's going to happen, you know, week by week. So like this next coming week, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm definitely in an anime mood right now, and I'm definitely going to get caught back up on Attack on Titan. Cause some of them I had to miss. I can't watch everything. Okay. I tried to get to everything, but you know, I could not get to everything. So Attack on Titan is definitely next. And I still want to do Dr. Stone, which I have not been able to start yet. So there's been a few of them out there that I am definitely dying to get back in. Golden Kamui, that's another one that I need to get back to. There's so many that I watch and I step away from and end up stepping into another realm of another anime, and then I get lost in that one, and you lose sight. But with so much anime out there to consume, guys, that's kind of like the world that I live in. So I'm just all over the place. Sometimes I'll get caught up and I'll, get involved with one and I'll keep going, especially the shorter ones, the 12, 13 episode ones where you can get in there and get them out within 4 or 5 hours. You're good, for a nice little long sit down, get you some food, get you some snacks, sit down, and just, watch away. Okay. And a lot of these were English subs. So you definitely had to pay attention to these, but yeah, that's my anime list for this past week. That's what I've been doing a lot of, and it's a lot, guys. And just playing Cyberpunk. When I do play, I've been playing Cyberpunk, and I've been taking my time with Cyberpunk. I might do a handful of missions each playthrough, and do some side missions. I may do like one story mission, main story mission, or something like that, and that's it, and move on. But when I'm on the Cyberpunk train, when I'm talking about Cyberpunk, let's talk a little bit about some stuff that I picked up on these last few days, pertaining to this game. Now, I'm sure we all know about the fiasco that took place with this game. Everybody knows, most of us do. And it was a train wreck. Let's just keep it real with each other. And we come to find out that the execs, of course, were the ones to blame. And you're going to see some heads roll. I can guarantee you in the next few months to come, just pay attention. I'll definitely keep you guys informed, but there's going to be some heads that are about to roll here, because there's some people who made some fucked up decisions out here, and they're going to pay for it, because this game technically, was half finished, maybe a little bit more than half finished. Now, a lot of news that I've been getting has been concerning all platforms, actually, and maybe some postponements, because the word out there in the digital streets, is that, we were going to get an update in January and we're going to get an update in February. But now people are starting to say that we're going to be getting them in March. We're supposed to get like a major one in March. And a lot of the game did not get done, guys. A lot of game got worked on, but a lot of the game didn't get put into, it got left out, basically. So it's a plus and minus to that, because the minus is, of course, we don't get to experience it, right? But the plus side to that is it won't take long to basically add it in, because most of it's already done. It just needs to be integrated into the game. And the devs need to have time to do the things they need to do to make it run and optimize it for all platforms. Now, what they've said concerning the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One is that they're going to completely scrap the code for the fucking Cyberpunk game. Okay. And they're going to go back in and rewrite this fucking code, and should be up to par in June. And that's every platform. So by June, they're basically saying that all the bugs and all the shit that we're seeing and dealing with now is going to be gone. That's including all consoles, so that you'll be able to jump in this experience and really be able to get into the game and not worry about all these things happening, And I mean, in reality, they should have held the game until then. But like I said before, the execs couldn't handle that pressure from the fucking investors, and they were pushed. And I'm not even going to say they were pushed, man. I mean, the investors can be mad, they can be salty, but they're the investors. If they want a return on their product, they're going to have to listen to the execs in the company and follow suit with that. If they would have just done that, it would have been all good. If the execs would have just held their water, it would have been cool. And we would be talking about Cyberpunk like it was one of the best games in 2021 instead of one of the worst in 2020. That's just that simple. Do I love the game? Yes, but a lot of people feel completely different because they felt that as hyped up as this game was, as long as it was worked on, that it should have been a stellar experience, especially when it comes to bugs and all of that. That's the last thing that people thought they were going to have to worry about when it came to CD Projekt Red, because they were known out here in these digital streets as one of the creme de la creme. But like I said, an exec can fuck up that real quick. And I do not blame the devs. The devs are the ones who are going to pay for it the most. They're the ones who are doing all the work on the game. They're the ones who just have to basically do what is told to them. If there was an incident in while they were making this game where they had a actual story scenario, and I guess one of the higher up guys, he wasn't feeling it, so that they rewrote that shit 11 to 12 times. And still ended up scrapping it. So they wasted a whole bunch of fucking time, a whole bunch of resources on something because somebody in the higher ups wasn't feeling it. Okay. And this motherfucker probably is not even a gamer. Okay. So this is the type of things, guys, that we don't see behind closed doors, that we don't necessarily hear until it's already over behind closed doors, that goes on with these companies. Okay. You got these assholes, these suit and tie dickheads who are up here calling shots, and they know nothing about what they're talking about. And as a result of that, we have the fiasco in front of us, which is Cyberpunk 2077. And now they got to basically play this as a redemption story, kind of like No Man's Sky. And they claim that's the type of redemption that they will have. They literally said that we're going to pull a motherfucking No Man's Sky on you, and we're going to show you what we're actually about. Now, the devs are kind of happy now because they are now going to see some heads roll that should, who are a lot of dickheads up there, and they're going to see that happen. Plus, now they don't have the pressure because the game's already out. They've already got the backlash and stuff out of the way. And now they can actually, look at these fucking execs and tell them, yo, we fucking told you so. Now let us get the fucking work and put this game the way it should have been put together. And that is really what is going on out here behind these closed doors. That's that's what people are talking about. And I'm excited. I'm excited because I still love the game, even with all the bugs and even with all the things that are wrong with it now. So I can only imagine how much better of an experience it's going to be once they get all this shit fixed, once these updates come out and they start rolling out. So by the summer, end of June is what they're saying. The shit should be love. Okay. And then as far as the next gen consoles, PS5s and Xbox Series X's, they don't have to rewrite anything because the way that they optimized the game for those systems, it's only going to be minor adjustments that they'll have to make the game, to put it on par with PC, I guess, if you will. So, it's going to be great. And like I said, before June, I would probably say I'd have a PS5 by then. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get one major release, maybe somewhere around the summertime, at least something worthy of, I guess, me wanting to pick it up to play it. So I'll probably be experiencing the next playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077 on the PS5. It's probably safe to say that for me now. You know what I mean? So yeah, 60 frames and all of that, probably hopefully less bugs with the patches that they roll out here in the next 90 days or so. So yeah, man, cheers to that. And finally getting to really get to experience some of the stuff in the game. Like I said before, guys, they left a shit ton of stuff out of the game. I mean, a lot. I mean, two whole arcs were literally left out of this game. Certain characters who are really, really important in the lore of this game were left out because they didn't have time, they didn't have room. So be looking out for some of this stuff to be added, some free, some paid, and DLCs to come. Definitely. So they have a lot of shit planned, guys, for this game still, but their main focus, which it should be, is getting the game optimized and getting the experience tailored and fixed up the way it should have been day one when it came out. And they're going to take care of that first, and then they can focus on everything else. And that's how it should be. And living in an age of where if you fuck up, people will call you on it. It's kind of good to know that because people have to stay on their toes. And some companies, some people, some corporations think that they are too big and they can't be touched by, media and by people who basically put them on blast. But as you can see, that is not the case. Nobody's fucking safe out here in these digital streets, and that's the way it has to be played. So kudos to CD Projekt Red for trying to, get back on that horse and finish the fucking race, man. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay, so let's just hope and pray, guys, especially the fans of Cyberpunk and the people who are actually loving the game right now, despite all the bugs and glitches. Let's just hope that, all this comes true, which I think it will, just with enough time, and we can just move on. As far as backlog is concerned, my backlog, I have a few games I really want to eventually play. Matter of fact, one of them is on the PlayStation Store, and you have a couple more days to download it now, and it's Just Cause 4. I definitely love that series, man, because it's an open world game. It's action. It's the type of game I like. You're just on an island or you're in this big ass map. You can drive vehicles. You can fly vehicles. There's a lot of shooting. There's a lot of different guns. There's a lot of explosions, that type of thing, man. This game brings that to the table. So I can't wait to jump back in here and see what else they could add to the game, because honestly, what else, in my opinion, can they add to this? I'm going to be anxious to see what else they can put in this game. But yeah, that's one of them. There's a couple other ones, guys. I told you guys I bought Mass Effect Andromeda, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to see it for myself. I'm going to see what these updates bring. And yeah, I'm going to get that experience, man, because like I said, I'm a huge Mass Effect guy, and I was eventually going to play this one, good, bad, or ugly. And now that I bought it for $5, why not now? So plenty of things to fucking play, and I still have more. I have games still wrapped in plastic that I haven't touched. So there's things that I can play and get into until the PlayStation 5 becomes available. And then that's not even talking about my retro collection of things and games that I have. I'm sitting here, with all these games: Sega Dreamcast, Sega Saturns, Nintendo 64. And in my handhelds, I got a shit ton of. So there's plenty of things. There's no excuse for me not to have something to play game wise while I'm waiting on the 5 to come out. So, that's why I collect how I collect and do what I do. I want to surround myself with the things that I love. Games, anime. I even started an anime collection. It's going to take a while because those can get pretty fucking expensive, guys. But, I try to, put one out. I'm going to try to do one once a month, buy something. And you can catch a lot of deals, a lot of these things on eBay and stuff like that. So you can get some of these anime and some of these movies really fucking cheap if you know where to go and know when to go find them. So, that's where I'm leaning on that stuff too. So when I get a little change, a little pocket change or whatever, I'll go ahead and I'll buy something out there in that realm. But yeah, man, that's typically what I had to say when it comes to my backlog. I'm sure everybody out there who are actual gamers who play games a lot and play them often, they have something that they can go back to. They may caught a sale on something they can, pick it up and play later. Anyway, moving on. 2020 in retrospect. 2020 in retrospect, guys. There's been so many games that have defined 2020 for good. And there's been some that have not necessarily. And we're always going to have those flops. We're always going to have games that, we thought we were going to really, really enjoy, and it didn't turn out that way. Okay. One that comes to my mind, off a first glance, is Avengers. Now, I'm not saying the game was just horrid. Okay. But I'm going to say the demo that I played, and once I played that, I had no other reason I needed to buy the actual game full price. Now, is that saying that I will never pick that game up? No. Now, if I can get that game for $5, yes, I would buy it. Okay. I would buy it, and it would be something to fuck around with, but it would, it didn't have that full price appeal to me. And I was just a little disappointed, man, because they hyped it up and everybody was hyped about it. It's an Avengers game. It's Marvel characters. And Square Enix, they published it. So I'm like, this has got to be, but I think they were out of touch with the whole superhero thing, honestly. They're an RPG company, they fuck with those typically. And they did some good things with the game, but it to me, it was a flop. To me, that game was a flop. And I'm sure a lot of people felt the same way. I'm a big Captain America guy. I fuck with Marvel hard body. And, I just thought it was going to be better. The character design for me was really kind of lackluster, man, if I'm being honest. I just didn't like the character design at all, and particularly Captain America and his get up, the shit he wore. It was not my favorite thing, and it was just off to me, and I just can't get over that. Still can't, but it is what it is, and we're gonna move on from that. But there of course were superior games, and a lot of these are just PlayStation games, guys. Let's just keep it real. A lot of these are first party games, and I'm not trying to be biased here. I'm really fucking not. But, going through this list, it's all I can come up with. It's all I can find. It's all I can see. The rest of them are third party games. So you pick your console, you want to play on. Now, Nintendo is a little, different. The beast is a little bit different. They had, they had some games out there too. They had, Animal Crossing, which was a dope game. I played a little bit of it. Matter of fact, on my daughter's, system. And, I think I'm going to end up picking that up. I am definitely going to be a dope time killer, and I might really get into that game, because I kind of got into, what's the last one I really got into, man? I can't think of it right now. But you're building a lot of shit. You're basically getting resources for certain things you want to buy, for certain things you want to build, and I thoroughly got lost in that game for a while, definitely. But yeah, Nintendo has a way of putting out certain games that just have you like that, but yeah, Animal Crossing was definitely a big game. Definitely hit the industry hard in the face. But the games that come to my mind, of course, are those motherfucking those first parties. Okay, the God of Wars, but which it didn't come out in 2020. But what did come out in 2020 was Ghost of Tsushima, which is my favorite PlayStation 4 game. Okay, officially now, it is. Just everything about that game was beautiful. And I'm not even including the DLC that they gave us, the online shit that they gave us. I'm just talking all about the fucking campaign. And that alone was just, the experience was just so beautiful to me. The world they built, just the craftsmanship it was a technical marvel. Like I said, first party games, there's no problem with the PS4. There's no problems at all. And that's why I get so upset sometimes, guys, when I think about everything that has happened with Cyberpunk 2077. Okay. If they had time to focus, I truly believe that the devs could have got a way better, game out of what we have right now in front of us. Okay. And that's the part of the gaming industry that I cannot stand, the politics, the behind the scenes things that go on. And it's only the interest of money, between certain people. And it doesn't mean that they have to put the best product out either to get that money or to get those things done. That's the sad part about it. Integrity, lack of there's no integrity within a lot of these companies, and the devs end up paying for it. They work their asses off though, but you can work your ass off and then they can just tell you, oh, we're putting this out, and you tell them it's not ready for another month. And they're telling you, well, we have to make it ready. So you're up hours and hours and hours, away from home, doing all these things, and you still don't get it done in time. And they still put it out. And then you have people shitting on the game, shitting on the shit that you worked on for years and put blood, sweat, and tears into, and, stayed away from your family for. And this is what you're looking at. Okay. Because somebody, one of your superiors, one of your bosses told you that, it had to get done. Okay. He couldn't wait. So that's the type of shit that I hate. And when I look at these PS4 games like Ghost of Tsushima or The Last of Us 2, which is another game that was 2020, was a lot of controversy surrounding it, but you could not argue about the technical marvel. You couldn't argue about the greatness of how the game was made. Okay. The devs just killed it, and it's definitely one of my top games though. Definitely is. And it's a dark game, and I love everything about that game. These games run flawlessly on a base PS4 is what I'm basically trying to tell you guys. I don't have a PS4 Pro. I wasn't going to get a Pro when the 5 was around the corner, and, I'll have a 5 soon. So I had no need for a Pro, but I say that to say this. Those games are excellent. They run excellent on the fucking PS4. Another one, God of War, 2018 God of War. It's still one of the most beautiful games, in my humble opinion, that I have fucking played. And it runs sputtery fucking smooth on the PS4. Okay? And that's because they had time with the game. They had time with the hardware. And you don't get time like that when you have third-party games sometimes. And then you have to optimize it for different pieces of hardware. And that's where shit gets sticky. So I have complete faith now that the devs are going to have the time that they need to get this game, Cyberpunk 2077, where it needs to fucking be, and everybody can be happy. And then we're going to get more content because, I mean, there's still a lot of content in this game. There's a shit ton of content in this game still. But one thing that threw me off was one of the fucking abilities, which is like, I think, where you hold your breath a certain amount of time, and you don't do anything like that in this game. That tells me right there, yeah, you cut some shit. Somebody cut something somewhere. If you're supposed to be, if there's something you can spec into with what has to do with swimming, there must have been a lot of swimming. There must have been areas in this game where you could do that at, and it's gone now. So, you know, people are finding things out. People are dissecting the game, breaking it down, and discovering new things. And that's the beauty of it as well. Okay. Yeah, that's just where we're at right now. And even the strategy guide that I bought, I mean, how good is that strategy guide going to be now when they start adding this other shit in the game? You know, that's a question I ask myself. It won't do me any good. It won't, but it's all good though, man. 2020 was a crazy year, and I'm not even just talking about games, guys. And you all know it was. We lost so many people on top of all that, but I am just thankful that it's over. The main thing I wanted to convey on this episode was that it's over now. Let's all move fucking forward to 2021. I think it's going to be a beautiful year. I think it's going to be way better than 2020. Okay. Anything I think is going to be better than 2020. And yeah, I say that's going to be the end of this episode. I want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank all the newcomers from giving this podcast a chance, just lending me your ear. We're going to have so many things to talk about moving forward. I mean, like I said, guys, I'm so excited for 2021. I'm beside myself right now. So if you guys want to reach out to me on social media, you can easily do that. I would definitely give you the handles, but now I don't need to. I can just tell you to go to StudioMguyvR.com and you can get all of those. You can get my Twitter, you can get my Instagram, all of those things, Facebook, YouTube, all these things, guys, and more. So just go to StudioMguyvR.com. You can get all that, guys. If you want merch, you can get that as well. If you want to support the show, you want to show your love for the show, and you want to support, you can do that there. You can do all those things on StudioMguyvR.com. So, just check me out. That's it. And that's all. And same bat time, same bat channel. We do this every Monday morning. Okay. We talk about this stuff, guys. If you want to be a guest on the show, definitely look out for me. Hit me on social media, hit me on Twitter or Instagram and, or Facebook. And, you know, we can get together and we can talk about some stuff, guys. We can have some discussions about video games, about anime or whatever. You know, I haven't had like a favorite Dragon Ball character or a Dragon Ball discussion on here in a while. And you know, right around the corner now we have Baby Vegeta coming to Dragon Ball FighterZ, so that's going to be dope. Can't wait to talk about that because I will be purchasing him and getting back out there in those Dragon Ball FighterZ streets. So, you know, working on my game because, you know, I haven't played it in so long, so many games, but look forward to playing that as well, guys. So yeah, man, let's get together. Let's have some matches. Let's do some stuff. You know what I mean? And let's get into it, guys. I love you guys. I want to thank you once more for listening and supporting the show all around the world. I have a lot of beautiful listeners, and I'm so grateful to have you guys. And I'm so grateful to grow this entity that I call a podcast. And it's just exciting. And who knows what is going to be out there for 2021, man. Let's hope nothing but great fucking things. And with that being said, I'm finally going to get my ass out of here. This is Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Studio MacGyver's Dragon Ball and Video Game Podcast. See you next time.